I don't really have a cold open.
That's okay. We can just talk. Figure it out.
I'm trying to think. Oh, well, was it last week that we talked about boobs?
I'm going to say it. Have sex with a Scorpio.
I could glute bridge your dad. I'm naked. Hold on.
We will be flicking the beans to that.
But she's tatted and I take meth. Is somebody in your house right now?
But you know what? Fuck your ass.
Yeah, I had sex last night.
You can make your own money. You can literally have your own job of your dreams. You can own your own house. You can own your own car. You can pay all your fucking own bills. So what is that man? That man is sex and a best friend, and that's it.
I heard nothing but the truth. I think in the cold open we were talking about boobs from periods.
Yeah.
Well, I'm currently on my period right now, and I was at a coffee shop working all day, and I have this sweatshirt on, but I was sitting there like without it on, and like literally the whole time I was there, I was with Madeline, and she kept being like, dude, the amount of men who keep staring at your boobs is actually terrifying. And I was like, I'd look down, and because I was sitting like this,
Yeah.
and I didn't even realize that I was like squishing my boobs together so hard, and I'm wearing like a deep V like workout top, and I was like, I'm never leaving my house again. Like that was, I felt so gross. I was like, ew. So yeah, then I ended up zipping my sweatshirt like up to my chin.
It's cute though.
Yeah.
Like you look cute.
If I felt cute, I looked cute, and then I just realized I was like just being objectified the whole time, and I was like,
I mean, okay, this is the thing. This is the thing about that is yesterday morning. I don't know why I woke up so early. I think like my body, like I actually got rest this past weekend and got to like chill and wasn't like deprived of
you weren't
sleep.
like catching up on sleep.
Yeah, wasn't like deprived of like sleep or food or any like essential things in life. So I like woke up kind of early before I had to go to work, and I was like, you know what? I think I'm gonna go to the gym. So I go to the gym. It's not even 6:30 a.m. and this man's already trying to, you know what I mean? It's like I feel like it doesn't even matter.
Yeah,
we're just living.
Yeah,
I was so annoyed.
like you are not ready for my story today then.
Yeah, you know,
it's on that same level, but so much worse in so many ways. But like, tell me about your interaction, because I think this is one of those things that it's like men never in their lives will have to deal with women doing this to them.
No. And even like the fact of like, I don't know, I like the fact that like I can't, we women.
Well, explain what happened.
So, okay, yesterday, I was going to say, it was going to, but regardless. So anyway, I went to the gym yesterday morning, like early, because I was like, ooh, fitness girl. Like I really, like I've been slacking on it the past like 2 weeks, almost just like honestly this past month, because like my schedule for work was crazy just because I was like training for like different roles while also still having to like serve and make money in other ways. But like, it was just a lot. So I was like always there, and I was like tired or whatever. So now that it's like slowed down and like everything's kind of falling into place, like it's still gonna be weird scheduling, but at least like I was like, okay, I'm gonna have time to go to the gym.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, I'm gonna wake up, I'm gonna go to the gym. Well, I already was awake, so I was like, I'm gonna use this time instead of sitting here just watching TV and scrolling on TikTok. I'm gonna go to the gym before I go to work. So I went to the gym, and literally like I wasn't even there for maybe like 20 minutes. I think I did like a quick little warm up. I walk over to the I'm not like used to using machines like their proper names. I just like know where I'm going. So I'm like da-da-da-da-da. So it was the hamstring curl machine, okay? But I was doing a superset with it. So I was using the hamstring curl machine, and then I was also doing sumo deadlifts with a dumbbell. Okay, so like it was like on and off the machine to like do the superset. And I bent over to pick up the dumbbell and start doing my sumo deadlifts. So for anyone who like doesn't know what that is, it's just like basically you're picking something off the ground with like your legs wide. Okay. And I had like on a crop top, like workout tank top, which like I wear all the time on these like shows. So like, if you ever watch our YouTube version, like you've seen me in them, and leggings and sneakers. Like I wasn't
like
even
very
like,
much normal gym attire.
Yeah. But like I also understand because of like it being one dumbbell, my hands have to be in the same spot. And since my legs are wide, now my arms are without like,
you're, like you pushing your chest together.
Yeah, you can't do anything about it, but your chest is being pushed together. So this guy is sitting right on the other side of me, just staring at me because he's sitting on a machine to like do stuff for like arms. So like he's sitting upright, and like he had headphones on and whatever, and like that's cool. Like I don't really care. I'm here to work out. Like I had my headphones in. Like I'm not purposely trying to be sexual towards you. Like I'm legit just doing my thing. So
yeah.
I like,
it's either you get my chest or you get my ass, but one of the two or it's going to be in your line of sight.
so I put my ass out the window.
Right.
Actually. So that all the cars driving by
Right.
could see that and not him. So anyway, so I was like, okay. And of course, like also being a girl at the gym, like making myself as small as possible. I'm like in between machines and
God
like,
forbid you take up space.
So I like put the dumbbell down as I'm coming up. The guy goes, hey. And like, at first I didn't think he was talking to me because I was like, I have headphones in, like I'm doing my thing. Like there was other people around too. So like, I didn't think it was me. And he was like, ma'am. And I was like, hi. And he was like, is that what I think it is on the back of your arm? And I said, no. And that was it. Like I said, no.
Yeah.
Cause like, I don't owe you explanation. It doesn't matter like what my tattoo is at all to you. And there's a proper way to ask me what my tattoo is, and it's not
but
that
honestly
way.
there isn't, like in that setting, like when you have headphones on and you're in the middle of a workout and whatever, like there is no appropriate time or place for you to come up and ask me about my tattoos.
I do agree to that, but the thing is like if you were actually like genuinely curious, there's a way to ask it, and it's not the way that he asked it. Like I still would have been like, ugh. But like you still could have been like, hey, like I was just like curious, like what does your tattoo mean? Like,
and not like also like being like angry because at first you didn't acknowledge that he was talking to you,
right? Because I didn't know he was even talking to me. Like I was literally again making myself as small as possible, so I like was in my own world. And so he was like, is that what I think it is on the back of your arm? And I was like, no. Because also,
well, explain what this tattoo is.
So my tattoo is like, I don't know how you do, if I can explain it. Like,
it's like an I love you sign kind of.
Yeah. So like if you do like an I love you sign in sign language, and then an R in sign language is like your pointer finger and your middle finger twisted.
Yeah.
So it means I really love you in sign language. And I used to do Special Olympics when I was in college for a lot of like blind and deaf kids. So like I learned like some sign language when I did it. So in this time of when I got this tattoo, I wanted it to have sign language because like it's like something I like started learning.
So it is like
a very meaningful, and it's my mom's hand.
It's innocent.
Yeah.
And it's like has meaning, and it's not, this man thought it was the 2 in the pink, 1 in the stink, like hand sign.
Yeah.
Like to finger somebody.
Yeah. And like,
and had the audacity to ask you if that's
in the middle of like my reps.
And it's so clearly like a very like, I mean, like you said, it's your mom's hand. So it's like a woman's hand. It's like dainty. Yeah. It's not like some fucking like, yeah, it's just like the audacity.
No, and
that
the thing
so
is,
crazy.
I knew exactly what I was talking about because also working at a bar, I get asked it all of the time by drunk men, all of the time. So like, also your thought isn't original.
But I'm sorry, like, why would you think that somebody would get that tattooed on them as a woman? No woman would ever do that.
I don't know.
In the history of women ever.
I don't know. And like when I'm working at the bar, like, okay, the difference is I'm going to make you feel so good about it because I want your money.
Right.
Like it's all transactional to me. I'm going to be like, ha, yeah, like whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm going to make you like a joke out of it. But like there, I owe you nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing at all. Like I'm not making your drinks. You're not paying me money, nothing. Like whatever. So I told him no. And he was like, oh, you're going to do me like that? And I was like, do you like
shut
what?
Up.
Do you like what?
It's 6 o'clock in the morning. Like, yeah. Shut up.
I was like, do you like, and I looked at him and I was like, no, it's sign language. She goes, oh, really? What does it mean then? I said, it means I really love you. And I was like, and it's my mom's hand. So like, yeah, thanks. And he was like, oh, I thought it meant something else. And I said, I know exactly what you thought it meant. I said, but I don't give a fuck. And he like looked at me like, I was like, the audacity that I had to say that back to him. And he was like, oh. And I made it very uncomfortable then for him to stay there because fuck you.
Yeah,
like, no, I stared at him.
But like,
it made him very uncomfortable.
You didn't owe him any explanation.
No.
Either. And like the fact that he's like, oh, you're going to do me like that. It's like, fuck off.
No, because
I would have literally like, I hate men so much. I'm going to say it. I hate them. I hate all of them. Like there are pieces about a man that I hate regardless. Even in my own family members who are men, there are parts of them that they do not understand and like they will never understand. And in some way, I have resentment towards that. And this is one of those things. It's like, fuck off.
Yeah.
Nobody owes you the conversation. Nobody owes you a response to your fucking weirdo, creepy ass question.
No.
And nobody owes you an apology for it.
Yeah.
So the fact that he was like so offended that you were like angry or like upset about it is so insane.
No, I literally was like, the rest of the day, not like the whole
Well, you
day.
texted me and were like, that's ruined my morning.
Yeah, like I literally like woke up and I was like super excited to like, I haven't done a morning workout in so long, and I was like had like the energy for it, and like it's always like when you're like as a female, you also understand this, like men ruin it when like you're super excited to do something for yourself. That's when they do it.
I tell you what happened.
Oh, I believe it's gonna be terrible, but like that's just how I felt. Like I was like, I'm excited to like go do something for myself. Like actually, I was like, my gym closes at 9 o'clock, and by the time I get done with work and get home, like on this certain shift, like I can't get to the gym in time. So I was like just also excited that like I got to go to the gym.
You got up and like did that for yourself.
Yeah.
And like you're not gonna, not that you would feel guilty for not going, but there is that feeling of like, well, I was already awake. Like I could have gone.
Yeah.
So it's like the fact you did it, you were like happy and like proud of yourself and like, okay, yes, I did this and now I'm going to feel like good going into work because like I got my shit done.
And like I still felt good. Don't get me wrong. But like it definitely made me have a better workout because I was pissed. So I was like definitely lifted a lot more weight, which is a good thing. But also at the same time, I was like, I didn't ask for this.
Right.
And I was like, I don't like the audacity of men today. And like me being a bartender today is not going to go well for the men.
Yeah.
Not going to go well. Because like why? But anyway, the audacity that they find in every situation, like, can you
without fail?
Like, you don't need to talk to me. There's zero reason you had to say a word to me, unless you wanted the machine that I was using to be like, hey, like, how many more reps you got? Like today, this guy actually, today was my first interaction at a public gym where the guy was so nice and so innocent, and he genuinely just wanted to use the machine next to me, and like. But he came over to make sure it was okay first. Yeah, that like he used it. So it was like
just sat
it was
down.
like the pulling machine. So like. They're kind of close sometimes, and he's like, hey, like, are you using this? I was like, I was going to, but like, I can just use mine. Like, it's okay. Like, we can share. It's a public gym. We have to share. Right. And he was like, oh my gosh, absolutely not. He's like, it's completely okay. I'm just gonna go to the machine over there. Like, I don't want to like intrude on like your time and your space. And I was like, jaw dropping. I was like, sir.
Well, because the thing is, like, you were so willing to accommodate to him.
Yeah.
And like that shouldn't be the case all the time.
Yeah, but like also I was also there on 4 o'clock. Like I understand it's busy, so like we're gonna have to share stuff. Right. And I don't understand why people think that like in a public gym you cannot share. Yeah. I don't understand that. It's always the men,
but also
and they
sit
like, on the machines.
You
like,
can
why?
share, but also like I shouldn't have to give up what I'm doing because you need it right now.
No,
like that like happens to me all the fucking time when I go to the gym. It's like I'll be doing something and I will just have started, and they're like, "Hey, are you almost done?" And I'm like, "No." And then they just stand there and wait. And I'm like, well, now you're making me uncomfortable, so I feel like I have to move.
No, that's where like, okay, so me too. Like, I'm still going to do what I have to do. And I still could have done what I needed to do on my one pulley. I was just like using the two because no one else was there. And like, I could have them at different heights because I was doing a superset. So like a workout, for someone who doesn't know, you do like one movement and then you immediately go and do another movement. And like back to back, like you don't take rest in between. So like that's the only reason I had them both set up. But like realistically, I could have done it on the one. I just would have had to like move where it was. So like that's the only reason. And I'm okay to like accommodate it, especially like at a busy time, like whatever. I didn't need to have two, but like he was like, oh my God, absolutely not. I was like, oh yeah, okay. Because normally they're like, yeah, man, I'm still gonna take that. So if you want to hurry up, or like they just like sit behind you and like stare.
That's what I can't handle. It's like, okay, well then I'm leaving.
Oh, this old man one time,
I can't do that.
I was on the row machine and like because like they're rowing for like weight, not like a rower, because I can't row myself yet. So I was like using this machine, and the old people love that machine. They'd be loving it. I don't know why. So he was like sitting there, and I was like literally
their knees aren't involved that much. I guess like but it's like decompressed.
Well, this is the thing that gets me is that this man was kind of like he was older, and like I was using it, and like I also understand between like sets, like you could use it while I'm waiting my rest, and like you could use it and then you could get up and like I could use it again. Like we could like go back and forth because again, it's a public gym at a busy time. That's what you should do, but people don't do that. So I like was just waiting to like get to my last set, and he like was just staring at me. He's like, are you gonna use that soon? And I said, oh yeah. I was like you can jump in really quick if you want. I said, but I only have one more set, so like it's up to you. And he was like, oh no, it's okay, take your time. I was like, okay. So I do it. I stand up, and as I go to like clean it, he goes, oh no, you don't gotta clean it. You don't gotta clean it. As like, ew. And like, okay, to be honest, like your sweaty vaginas on the seat. Like I want to clean it off.
Well, yeah, and like also that's like creepy that he was like so excited to like sit
he was
down.
like, yes.
Ew.
It made me feel so uncomfortable because I was like, oh
no, like I don't want us to
like,
share sweat.
oh,
because
I still sprayed it.
Yeah, because I feel like you're like being weird about it.
No,
because
like,
any other human being who cared about like sanitation would want me to wipe.
I wipe them down before I even use the
Yeah,
machine
same.
because like I don't
trust that people did it before. Also,
Yeah.
I watch people not do it.
Yeah, all the time. And like I also get if he was like trying to do it out of inconvenience, but he was way too excited.
Yeah, no, I hate that.
Way too excited. All right, let me hear your story.
So today was like one of the most traumatic moments, and like I cried about this for about 35 minutes.
Stop it.
And like it was really bad, and like so
she just texted me that this happened. She
trigger
never, like,
warning for like SA and like sexual stuff, because like this is kind of heavy, but also like I'm gonna try to make it funny, but also it's not funny and it's fucking gross. But so today I've been feeling very, very, very depressed recently, and I don't know why. And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that I'm not exercising. After my marathon, I was just like, I feel like after like accomplishing that, I didn't have like a sense of purpose for exercise anymore.
I get that. Yeah.
And so I just like, I was working out like maybe twice a week for like 2 weeks consistently, and then I just wouldn't, like I would fall off, and then it'd be like
that,
2 weeks of doing nothing, and then I would like be like, okay, let's do it, like let's go, like and then the cycle happened for like the past 2 months. It's been like that, where it's like maybe I work out a couple of times a month and whatever. And then last night I like made the decision that I was gonna wake up before work and go for a run, because I really want to sign up for a half marathon like late fall, and I'm like, okay, I need to start training again for that, like whatever. And I'm like, okay, I need to run. And tomorrow, like last night I was thinking, like today I was like, oh, it's gonna be nice in the morning, it's not supposed to be super hot,
a beautiful day today,
yeah, I was like, it's gonna be great, it's not gonna be cloudy either, like it's actually gonna be like pretty, like I can't wait to go run. So I'm going for my run, and I am like on my way back from my run, and the whole run I just had this like really bad feeling. Like I don't know, it's like as women we know, like when you know like
a weird sense,
like you have this gut instinct that like something is about to happen that's really bad. And like the whole run I was just like hyper vigilant about like men around, and like I was just noticing like men being like really creepy, and like workers like slowly driving by as I was watching like other women like walk around like on their phones, or like had over the ear headphones, and just like they weren't paying attention. So I felt like I had to pay attention even more so, because if something happened, like I was gonna need to respond appropriately. Like I don't know, like I've just been very hyper aware recently of men in general. And so I'm like coming back towards my apartment, and there's like a guy that's like 20 feet in front of me maybe, and he's just walking. And as I'm like coming up behind him, I notice out of the corner of my eye that there's another man standing with his pants around his ankles, masturbating as I'm running by, like to me, like of watching me and masturbating, like. And I see the guy in front of me, and I'm like, did he not just see this? Because like I'm coming up over the hill.
Did he see you though running, or did he just see the guy?
He just saw the guy.
Okay.
But like he didn't see me because I was behind him. And so like I'm just like, what the fuck? Like this is weird. And then like I see like basically like what I saw was like this man's butt, like his entire butt, and like he was standing completely up straight too, like he wasn't crouched down or whatever. So as I'm coming over the hill, I'm thinking he's like about to like shit or something. I'm like, I don't know.
We'd be seeing that.
You know what I mean?
We'd be seeing that
like,
around
I'm
here.
like, I don't know, like whatever. And then I realized that what he's doing, and as I'm coming up by him, I'm like in my head, I'm like, I don't know what to do. Like
you were close to him?
I was 5 feet from this guy. And I was like, had to make the decision. I'm like, do I cross the street, or do I just like sprint?
Cross.
But it
Cross
was,
and sprint.
It was over that road that goes over the highway on 3rd by those like hotels, and cars were flying by. And I'm like, I don't know what to do. Like, I feel like I should just like run as fast as I can, because I was like, if I cross the street, it's like more time that he's watching me. Like, it's just grossing me out. And so as I'm sprinting by, oh my God, like this makes me want to throw up. Like he made eye contact with me.
Ew.
And like I ran, I have never run that fast in my life.
To be also for people that
run.
are listening, a lot of homeless people are in that area that you were like running in. So like I'm sure also was not a person who has a home.
No.
And could do that in the privacy of their own home, but still, regardless, at the end of the day.
Yeah. And so I see this happening and I'm like, I don't know what the fuck just happened. Like, I'm so disgusted. And like, I feel so like violated and dirty and like, oh, it was so gross. And like, the fact that like where he was doing it too is like right by a hotel where it's like, you know, there's children there.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, there's so many girls walking by and like, that's why he was doing it, because like he gets off on that apparently. But like, it was just so disgusting. And it's like, it ruined my day so fast. Like before my day even began.
Yeah, I feel that.
It ruined it. And like he took, it's just like the fact that he like took something away from me and like took advantage of me without even touching me or doing anything. And like, I just like, it was the most disgusting thing I've ever seen in my life. And so I posted on like the Nashville, like Germantown girls group. And I was like, hey, heads up. Like some guy is fucking exposing himself, like everything. And I circled like where it was and whatever. And like a girl commented, was like, you need to call the police and report this. And I'm like, that's not my job. Number one, like, I'm sorry. I've done that shit before. I was literally chased, verbally assaulted, and like damn near beat the fuck up by a man on a run before. The police showed up and watched him say he was going to kill me, say he was going to rape me, say he was going to bomb my place of work. And they let him walk by. So I'm not calling him to say that a homeless man is jacking off to women as they run by. They're not going to do shit.
Yeah.
And like, it's just one of those things where it's like women have all of the burden. Like, why is it I just was like essentially SA'd by this person and I have to go to the police and report it? Why didn't that guy do anything when he walked by? Why didn't he do anything? Probably because he didn't fucking notice, because men live in fucking la land and don't have their head on a swivel and don't notice shit like that. But like, it's one of those things where it's like, I couldn't even put into words like what I just witnessed. And then I remembered like a year ago, a girl had posted in that same Facebook group that there was a guy who would like sit in his fucking car in that same area and jack off as women walked by. And I'm like, you cannot tell me that like all men aren't the issue. Because like, if there's one man who does that, it's all men. Like, I don't care, because that guy, the guy who is normal and the pedestrian and all these cars driving the fuck by and all these other people didn't do shit. Yeah. So like, it's just like, women cannot have anything. Like, I couldn't even go for a fucking run. You couldn't even go to the fucking gym without being harassed. Yeah. Fucking SA'd. Like, it was just one of those things where it's like, I almost too, like, I was like, I should just drive to this park that I run in all the time, because I'm like, I know, like, I won't have to deal with any fuck shit. Like, every time I leave my fucking house, it's something. And recently it's been even worse. Like, I don't even know why, but it's like everybody is like out on the fucking prowl to be a creep.
Bro,
recently.
It's so bad. I mean, because like even where I work too, like, I don't want to say like you're asking for it in the industry, because like you're not, but also like it is that industry to like, it sounds so bad to say it, but like, it is.
Well, because also people think that they're entitled to you because you're serving them.
Yes, exactly. And like, also we're working for their money, even though it's like a very legal sense, but it's like, you know what I mean? So unfortunately, like you hear and you see a lot of dumb shit, and like the audacity of people is crazy. Well, it's crazy.
It's gotten so bad recently to the point where like I was talking to Madeline today about it. It was like, I don't want to leave my house and be perceived as a female half the time. So I will dress in baggy ass clothes and a giant ass t-shirt and put a hat on just so I don't get fucking bothered. And like, that's not cool. Like, I shouldn't have to like adjust my lifestyle.
And that's like a whole like Billie Eilish's thing. Like, especially when she first started music and like started popping off, like she'd only wear, I mean, she was also very young at that time. But like for her, she was like, I don't want to be perceived as anything other than like, I'm a great like artist. I'm a great musician. I'm great at what I do. And like my body has nothing to do with it. Yeah. And like,
well, and then the moment she showed her body, people fucking hated on her for it.
Yeah.
They said, oh, put the big clothes back on. Like, that's the comments that people were making.
Yeah, but that's, I mean, if you think about it, it's kind of what we do too. Like, you and I, we sit here week after week and like, we don't dress any type of way. We don't talk about certain things. We do, but not like all of the time. And that's not our personality. And like, there's so many other ways like we could have gone about this in order to like grow our podcast faster. But like, that's not the people that we want to have listen.
Right.
Like, we want you girls to listen and like relate to us and be like in a community and feel safe here. And like a lot of you guys say, like, be on FaceTime with us and like you feel like you're with your friends. Like, that's what we want.
Right.
Because we could have a whole other audience.
Yeah, I mean, we could play the whole like, I mean, and not
we're
to
slutty girls,
right? Like we could play it up, and we could come out here every week with like all our makeup done and like our boobs pushed up to the sky and like do whatever and talk about sex every week. But it's like, that's just not. Women are so much more than that, and I'm tired of people feeling like they're not. And like, the thing is, like, you will find growth and you will find your community and people will follow you and people will care about what you have to say. But if you give them the opportunity to get a taste of that, that's all you'll ever be known for. And it sucks and it's not fair, but that's the reality. And like, and I just hate that. Like, I literally couldn't even go for a fucking run without being like bothered. And like, this is a big fucking deal. It's not like somebody like cat called me. He fucking masturbated on the side of the road with his whole dick and balls and ass out. His pants were on his ankles. Like, it wasn't even trying to hide. Facing women as we run by, making eye contact at 9 o'clock in the morning.
That's a problem.
It's a felony.
Yeah,
it's not even just a problem. Like, you're a criminal.
Yeah.
And the thing is, the police wouldn't do shit.
No, they wouldn't.
And also,
not
there's no way to track it either, because he's an unhoused person. So what are they gonna do? Tell him he can't go in this area because he has like a now he's like a predator or whatever.
Well, the thing about that is, for him, is like that would be their whole shtick the whole time.
He's probably done that a million fucking times.
Oh yeah. Oh, that is not his first time.
But
that
like, I'm saying, like, been charged with it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure he's been charged a million fucking times. I mean, we watched a guy take a piss right in front of us one time.
Oh yeah.
With children around. He just whipped his dick out and went pee in public. Like,
yeah. And the sad part about it, like, not in like their defense, I feel so sad that like they're so desensitized to like the world outside of them. But like, I feel like,
but you've never watched a
woman do that.
No,
but I feel
that's
like, I just feel like there's still like, I understand like the desensitization and like that's really sad, but it's also like you have to still know that like that's not appropriate.
Yeah,
like, I would think.
And also, you have to still know that like you cannot use human beings like that. Like, you cannot use living, breathing, walking 5 foot in front of you human beings as pornography. That's not okay.
Yeah, no.
Like, that's not okay. Because what if it was a mother with her child walking by? Or what if it was a girl who was 15 or 18 or 21 or 45? Like, nobody should have to see that without their consent. And like, it was so disgusting. And like, I was literally like physically, like, I thought I was gonna throw up when I got home, because like it all hit me that like what I just witnessed.
I
and
can't
I was
even,
like,
I can't even imagine seeing that. Like, and again, like, you're innocently like running, doing your own thing, and
I took my headphones out immediately. I grabbed my phone because I was like, I don't know what to fucking do.
Yeah.
And I just started running as fast as I could. And I kept looking over my shoulder the whole rest of my way home. And like, that's fairly close to like where I live. So luckily I didn't have that far to go. But like, even the moment my run started, I left my apartment complex and some crazy guy is just like screaming and punching the air. And like, that's the first thing I see. And I'm like, awesome.
Yeah.
This is going to be a great run.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just like, I'm so tired. And especially after watching the Barbie movie and like realizing that it's like every woman goes through this. Yeah. I'm like, at what point do we become not so fucking nice?
Yeah.
And what's scary.
Well, and that's the crazy part is like, even yesterday morning, I wasn't nice.
Right.
But then he played the victim the whole fucking time. But I wasn't nice because I have no reason to. And like, not that like I was like blatantly disrespectful. I still answered your question, but I don't owe you anything. Like, I didn't even owe you the answer that I gave you.
Right.
But like, the fact of like, then as soon as he realized that he was bothering me and I didn't give a fuck about him and I didn't think that he was cool or hot or anything like that, like, No.
Right.
And
Then the
immediately-
attitude came out.
Yeah, and like he played the victim, and it's like, okay, the other day at work too, like a whole group of guys came in after they just got done smoking. They smelled like a pound.
Oh,
Okay,
God.
they smelled like reeked
Also,
the restaurant
just
up.
like a word of advice for any people who smoke: fucking shower before you leave your house. Like,
Yeah,
it's everybody can smell it, and it's disgusting.
yeah. I don't think that they cared, but
Yeah, but I'm just saying,
if I ever do it, it's like in the
anybody
comfort of my own
general,
home,
like,
and then the next day I shower and I leave, and like,
yeah,
you don't
exactly.
know.
Like, there's just certain times where I'm like, it will be like somebody in normal clothes, and it's like so put together or whatever, and they walk by and they reek.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay,
Come
I
on
get
now.
that you can't smell it, but it's really
but
bad.
everybody else can.
It's
So
really bad.
these guys, like probably 6 of them come in, and they were like, is your rooftop? Also, mind you, we're in the middle of like the lunch rush was over, but like dinner is about to start, so like we're dead. There's probably like 4 people in the whole restaurant, including staff, and like these guys walk in, and they were like, is your rooftop open? And it wasn't yet, because like it doesn't open the same time as the restaurant does,
Right.
because it's a whole like different staffing, whatever. And I was like, oh no, like it's not. And he was like, oh, it is. And I said, and I genuinely thought like he was like didn't hear me, so I was like, no, it's not. And he was like, it is. I said, no, it's not. And he goes, and then his friends start laughing. Like this is like a whole little joke for them. And I was like, no, it's closed. Like it's not open. They're like, well, you're gonna open it. I said, no.
Says
I said,
who? Are you the fucking owner?
and
of
it was
this
all
bitch?
girls. It was all girls that were working. So like my
Yeah.
manager at the time was a female. The other waitress was a female. I, as the bartender, is a female. And all the guys were like of kitchen staff were like they were in the kitchen. So like whatever. And I was like, oh no, like whatever. And then I was like, but like the whole restaurant down here is open. You can take a seat wherever you'd like. Like it's whatever. And he was like, I think that you should go open up the roof. And I said, I don't think I'm gonna do
who?
that.
Who are you?
Yeah.
Who are you?
Yeah. I said, I don't think I'm gonna do that.
Are
And he
you
was
gonna
like,
pay to rent out the roof?
Yeah.
Like,
And also,
then we'll open it up for you.
and then like the one girl, the other server was like, well, I don't really want to serve them. Like they've already given attitude. And I was like, you have to go do it. So she walks over, and they like bullied her. They were like, I don't understand why you're being disrespectful. Like we want the roof to be open. And she was like, it's just not yet. Like people don't come in to work up there until like 3:30 to be open for 4:30, just depending on like how fast they open it. And she was like, so I'm sorry, like it's not open, and like I have to be down here because like I'm the only server on right now.
Yeah.
Like I can't be in 2 places. They're like, well, we want it open. And she was like, okay, like I'm sorry. And like they were just like did not stop. And then she was like, I can get you guys drinks down here. Like she was trying to be like accommodating. And they were like, no, we want the roof open. And mind you, it was like 6 of them, and we have 6 top tables, and they sat at 2 separate tables. I don't understand why, but it made no sense to me, but whatever. So then they get up, and they were like, they looked at our manager who was sitting there like she was doing like office work downstairs just to be around us. And it was like, they was like, well, fuck this place. And she was like, what, like, what's your problem? She's like, they're like, we want to be on the roof, and you like, and your
But
staff
also,
won't open for us.
After throwing that kind of fit, do you really want to go up there and like be served by these people?
This was
like,
going on for 10 minutes total, from the moment that they asked me to the moment that they're getting kicked out.
Like
10 minutes.
That's so embarrassing too. Like let's say you guys do open
And they
it
were
up.
all men.
You would not want to be served then up there. Like afterwards, like I would feel so uncomfortable. Like as those guys.
Also, like I'm not being up there by myself with you because there's no one else.
And you're freaking me out.
And 2, like, and no, like not even being mean, but like we're off a tipping industry. Like, are you gonna tip us? Are you gonna pay? Are you gonna make it worth my while to like run my ass off? And plus, we can't have you up there with no one else watching because we just have. I mean, it's a bar.
Yeah.
There's alcohol there.
Yeah. And
Like,
you guys are clearly like under the influence of something. Like you're gonna act up and like we don't need that liability.
No, we don't need that liability. Like, and not to be like they might not. I don't know. But like, what if they steal something and now like, that's on us? Like, it's a whole like there's a bunch of different things. What if they ruin something? What if they like? There's a whole bunch of things that could have happened. But like, as he's leaving, the one guy who was trying to like be all like cute, he was like trying to like flirt with me at first until he realized like I wasn't having his shit, and then looked at our manager and was like, oh, so you're just gonna take your coworker's side like that? And we're like, she's like, absolutely, I'm going
I don't
to.
owe you shit.
Absolutely.
I don't owe you
Why?
shit.
And like, but they were like, oh, the customer's always right. And she was like, not today. And like, they just thought because we were 3 girls that they could bully us into like doing what they wanted. Like, no.
Yeah, no.
No. And also you got the 3 wrong girls because like none of us are going to take your shit.
Yeah.
But like, what?
Yeah, no.
What? Like, just something so simple as that. Like, not even that they like went out of their way to like make a comment or masturbate in public or anything like that. It's just like something so simple as like the audacity that they just feel as though it's
entitlement.
Like,
yeah. Like they feel like they're because they asked. Like you should just appease them and do it.
Yeah, that makes no.
It's just it pisses me the fuck off, and like I'm so sorry to like anybody who like disagrees with me, but you are wrong. It's all men until it's no men, and like that's the bottom line. Like of course there's Karens in the world, okay, I'm not denying that, but I've never seen a woman jack off in public so brazenly and boldly, and I've never seen a woman go into a fucking gym and tap a man on the shoulder and ask him if his sign language tattoo means 2 in the pink and 1 in the stink. I've never seen that. No, and I've never seen it. I've never seen it, you know? And I never will, because girls are not like that. And like bottom line, they aren't. Like, and it's just like, oh my God, I'm just so, I'm literally like, I'm so tired of men. And I'm so tired of like being like nice because I'm afraid for my life. And that's another thing about living in the South that like a lot of people maybe don't realize, like, especially like Madeline, she just moved here from Boston and she's like having to adjust to the fact that it's like, you cannot be too big of an asshole to men because people here can carry guns all of the time. There is no regulation on firearms here essentially at all. Yeah. And you will go into a grocery store and you will see somebody with a gun on their hip, a civilian. And so like, I'm sorry, but like if a guy is being creepy and weird to me, I have to be polite because I'm afraid that you're going to fucking shoot me in the face if I reject you. Yeah. And that's fucked up. And that's not normal. Like that's like literally when I got robbed at a grocery store. Yeah. And I just had to comply because he had a giant trench coat on and his arms around me. And I'm like, I can't be a bitch because what if he has a fucking machete in his pocket?
You never know.
And the other day I was actually talking to Madeline about this, but we were talking about like how men have weapons as like hobbies and toys. Like guys will have like swords or like nunchucks or fucking like knife collections or guns or bow and arrows, and it's like women have weapons out of necessity and for protection.
Well, I mean, like even look at kids' toys.
Yeah,
like kids' toys are like for girls are like princesses and playing house and dolls and like
makeup
and like
taking care of animals.
Yeah, like playing like anything that's like
and
teacher
a lot of them are career
like,
driven.
Yeah, it's like teacher, doctor, like anything like that, and it's all, like all innocent, like motherly, like nurturing type of toys. And all of like little boys' toys are like, I mean, it could be like drills and like whatever. You could have like that, like construction worker, but it's like race cars and
Nerf
superheroes
guns.
And Nerf guns and Nerf knives,
swords,
and, like all that kind of shit. Like it's like aggressive.
Yeah.
And like it's just they're already brought up. I mean, even like their clothing, like as little kids, it's like future little stud or like whatever, and it's
ladies
like,
man.
Yeah, ladies man. And then it's like the little girl shirt's like mommy's princess.
Yeah, daddy's little girl.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, it's just like it's also like recently too, I'm just like noticing more and more how like common it is for just like things that like if a man experience coming from a woman would feel very weird and violating and like uncomfortable, that happen to us all the time.
It's like almost like you have to literally tell them, and this is like just with men in general and in relationships out whatever, you do literally spell it out to them. Like imagine if this was roles reversed.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh,
or like a big
like they
thing,
don't think about that.
A big thing too that I was like talking to Madeline about, because I was telling her about like your gym incident, and like a big thing too that I think a lot of men don't realize, because like they've never had to be afraid of women, because like statistically speaking, women are not the aggressors 99% of the time. Yeah. Okay? But like it's just even being touched like in public, like the amount of times like a man will like come behind you and like touch you or like tap on your shoulder, or like it's like a physical like touch to a complete stranger is so weird and strange and creepy. And like I feel like if a guy did that to another guy, they would like punch them in the face.
Yes.
But it's like so common for them to do that to women. Yeah. And like even today, like
It's for them because they probably feel like that makes them seem more like approachable or nice or
Right.
like it's like they're soft compared to like
Yeah, like even not today, the other day I went through a drive-through and like the guy handed me my drink and he touched my hand. Instead of just handing me the drink, it was like two hands, and like when I went to grab it, he like touched my hand fucking weird. And I was like, that was not necessary. It was fucking strange.
See, but that's where like this is where like women need to start calling men out for that shit.
Yeah.
And making them like how I made him feel uncomfortable to the point where he left. He literally left the gym because I made him uncomfortable because they need to be humbled in some sort of way.
It's like you do, but at the same time, like I was saying earlier, it's scary because like what if they fucking punch you in the face?
It is scary, but it's almost like you it's I feel like it's not going to stop.
It's a rock like, between a hard place.
Yeah, because I feel like in that situation you'd be like, what the fuck? Like literally almost like not necessarily like I think you should almost like say something to make him feel uncomfortable that he like made you uncomfortable. Like I almost feel like you have to reverse it or else they're going to be like, just keep fucking doing it. Because you know the next pretty girl that came through the line and he did it again.
But you know whose responsibility it is to call out that behavior and to make them feel uncomfortable? It's other men. It's not our responsibility.
No, I know. But it's like, it's almost like because of the uncomfortableness that we feel that like, it's almost like they feel like we like it or like we accept it or like something like that. You know, I actually had a friend who like, I ended up like later in life like had a little thing with whatever, but like when we were like still in high school and he would tell me all the time, he's like well, I know that you like me, and like he just like already had like the audacity to like be like, I don't say weird, but like
entitled
to like
your feelings,
to already think in that moment when I had like a boyfriend who like I was like I dated him for like 3 years and like loved that kid and like whatever, you know what I mean, like at the time, and he's just like, I know that you like me, and like I just don't understand why you like won't give in, like, you know, every girl wants parts of me, and but like, you know what I mean, like already like that like mentality, and you're like, what the fuck,
thinking that like
you are God's gift, like who are you, like you need to be humble,
right?
Who are you?
Yeah.
And I feel like that's almost like,
no, I mean it's
like,
all men.
it needs to happen.
We even look at like incel culture, you know what I mean, and they're like brought up into that like cult-like mentality to believe that like women exist solely for you. So the fact that you are denying him or whatever his like God-given right, that's why they hate women, because it's like no woman wants to sleep with you, and it's not because you're ugly, and it's not because you have whatever, it's because you are a fucking weirdo shitty person. Yeah. And like you might be ugly on top of that, but like in their brains, they don't understand that like your physical appearance isn't the only thing that matters for them. And that's why a lot of incels like deem themselves as ugly, because they cannot comprehend why else a woman wouldn't want to have sex with them.
Other thing too is like I've been realizing more, I guess, like now being like in this job again and like people being drunk and like whatever and like saying more crude things, is that like men have respect for women sometimes, but like they only respect women that they find attractive or pretty or already is like their girlfriend, and even then probably don't, or wife or whatever, even though I see a lot of cheating going on in this industry, let me tell ya. Like it's crazy to me how like you just like overhear conversations and like passing of like doing my job and the things that they say, and you're like, okay, but like you want respect from this pretty woman, but you're over here saying this about this maybe bigger or maybe more unattractive or whatever woman. Yeah. But like you don't respect women. No. You don't. You only respect women that you find attractive, and even then you only respect them because you want to have sex with them.
And also I think the word respect isn't being like but I think genuinely in men's minds, respect means to them, it means like submission, it means like you do what I say because you respect me, when in reality like respect is like it's earned. It's not, nobody deserves your respect. Like you don't like walk into a room and demand respect from people. Like that's not how it works. Like that's never how it's worked. That's like how dictators work and whatever. But like also respect is something that is like a mutual understanding and like a mutual feeling that you have towards one another. But it doesn't mean that like you are owed somebody something to respect them. And that's what men don't understand. Like, well, they say they'll respect women, but it's like at these conditions. That's not respect.
Yeah.
that's holding power over somebody.
Yeah.
And that's not the same thing. And like when men say women are being disrespectful, the definition of it is just incorrect, because they're not doing something that men like. That's not respect.
Yeah.
That's being demanding, and that's having like, it's like goes back to the Jonah Hill thing when it's like, oh no, you're not doing my boundaries. It's like, well, those aren't boundaries.
Yeah.
And the same thing with like the way that they use the word respect, and also like regardless of what definition they're actually using, only caring about the people that you are attracted to doesn't mean that you care about them. And that's the difference between men and women. It's like women care about human beings by and large. Men care about men and the women that they want to have sex with. Other than that, they don't give a fuck. Maybe their daughters. Half the time, they don't give a fuck about them either. And even if they say that they do, they still vote and they still do things against what is actually going to protect and what is actually going to help their lives. And that's where I go back to what I said earlier about, at some level, I have hatred in my heart, and I don't want to have it for even the men closest in my life, because I know the way that they vote. And I know the way that they view the world. And it's through their rose-colored lenses, because they've never had to fucking step in anybody else's shoes ever. And I know at the end of the day, as much as they love women, as much as they respect women or whatever, they don't. Because they're not actively trying to make change. And they only address a situation once something bad has happened. And that's, I think a lot of men have that mentality of like the savior complex. It's like, oh, I'll save you after you've been hurt. After I've seen it. Instead of like taking the initiative beforehand and being like, this shouldn't happen. We need to put things in place, and we need to check other men. And like, we need to be violent towards violent men. It's not up to women. We shouldn't have to fucking protest and like do all these things and like hopefully our rights get whatever, or not even rights. It's just like hopefully our existence gets better. Like that shouldn't be on us. Like check your fucking people and like make change. And like if you're gonna say you're gonna be fucking protectors, then protect. You're not protecting shit. You're not doing shit. Like there's a time and place also for like aggressive behavior, and I fully believe this. And like I saw this TikTok about it, and it was this man, and he's like, I'm an advocate for people, but I can't say I'm an advocate for people and then let a fucking Nazi come in my town and fucking hold a sign up, you know, saying some racist ass shit, and then I get in my car and I politely ask him to leave. He's like, no, because then he's never going to leave and he's never going to listen. And he was like, this is a trigger warning to anybody, but like, I'm going to use my fucking violence, and I will make sure with 100% certainty this man never comes in my neighborhood again. And he walks out there and he says, I will fucking kill you, motherfucker. Get the fuck out of my neighborhood. Nobody in here supports your fucking bigotry, your Nazi bullshit. I will kill you. I will find you and I will kill you. And the guy with the sign ran to his car and he drove the fuck away, and he never came back. And it's like, that's what it fucking takes, though.
Yeah.
Like, that's what it fucking takes. Like, if all of these fucking KKK members and these fucking crazy-ass Proud Boys are going to come out here and say, oh, I hate women, I hate black people, I hate Jewish people, I hate the trans community, blah, 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 spewing hate, threatening to be violent, then fucking be violent back. Your signs and your happy-go-lucky attitude are not going to do shit for these people, because they actually want you dead. And that's the thing. And so like,
that was like the scariest part when we went to the protest for like the Roe v. Wade, when like the
I will
Proud
never
Boys
forget
showed
that.
up. That was
I was
freaking out. I was so scared.
They had, and also the thing about
was so
Proud
scared.
Boys that is just the most like, they wear fucking masks to hide their identity. They wear sunglasses. They wear fucking shit, because like they know that if anybody found out what the fuck they were doing, their job would be over. Their house would be lit on fire. Like, you know what I mean? Like people would take action.
Yeah.
But they hide their fucking identity, when in reality, like us, and we're fighting for our rights, and we're out there marching in the streets and like trying to make change. We fucking put that shit on our backs.
And like women were literally sitting up there having like very real stories and talking, like little girls, like little girls, like an 8-year-old little girl got up there and told a story about sexual assault that she had in her life. And
from her, on the hands of her own fucking father.
And women of all colors, races, backgrounds, everything, standing up there, all ages, and these men just standing there like
with weapons,
with huge ass guns, and like just literally walking around as a scare tactic and trying to torment
and to be scary.
and then
and they want to claim they're protecting human lives
and
by
a
doing
couple
that.
of guys did try to go over and like watch them, but like it was still like it was like the whole time Emily and I were like looking around like, oh my god, like
we were
when
like,
is this shit gonna go off?
We were like making sure we could see an exit.
Yeah,
we were making sure
we were
that,
like moving, like positioning ourselves to leave.
Day, like we can protect ourselves, and like that's so fucked up. The fact that like we're gathering to voice our like to make our voice be heard and to fight for something that was just stripped of us, and these fucking bigots had the audacity to show up with giant. And like, you guys, this is why gun control is like such an issue, because like I don't think people realize like how little gun control there is, especially in the South. Like people who live in other states, like I don't think you realize how bad it is. We were at the Capitol, our state capital, with thousands of children and women and people, and these guys walked up with assault rifles,
and there was police there, and they didn't do shit.
And they didn't do anything because they can't.
Yeah,
because there's no ban and there's no regulation, and like they were standing there like to be scary and to make us want to leave. And like the thing is, it's like, of course we can't approach them and like ask them to leave or do anything. They have a gun strapped around their body
with extra bullets, like a lot of extra bullets, like,
and like that's I think goes back to this like whole thing where it's like when people say it's not that bad, like it's as bad as you think it is times 100.
If you don't think it's that bad, then you haven't gone out to fight for things. And if you don't think it's that bad, you don't leave your house and go to the gym, go to the grocery store, go to Target, go do normal things. If you don't think it's that bad, then like you are, I don't want to say that because you're living in a place that maybe you don't see it as often because it's everywhere, but like,
but you're actively choosing
choosing to ignore it is what is the point.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know. It's just like that today. And like, not to get like, I feel like this episode got very like, you know, like fuck the patriarchy, whatever. But like, honestly, like I'm so exhausted, and I'm sure all of you are as well, especially if you're a woman or you're part of like the LGBTQ community or you're a person of color. I cannot imagine how tired that you guys are too.
Yeah.
And like, I feel like today I just needed to vent, and like, oh my God, I feel like I'm gonna cry. But like, I just felt so violated, and like, I just thought of like my nieces, and like if my sister-in-law had been like, she used to live in that neighborhood, and like taking them for a walk, and for them to have to see that, like, I don't know, it's like, it's so fucked up, and I'm just so tired of like being afraid to leave my house. And I just can't imagine like some of the stuff that like other people have had to deal with, and like luckily like I have thick skin, and like I've also dealt with a lot of shit before, and so I don't know, like I was able to like brush it off or whatever, but like you shouldn't have to. You shouldn't have to ever see something like that or whatever. And like, oh my God, like it just, I don't know, I felt like I needed this to be like serious, and for people to like understand how scary it is to leave your house and to like be so safe and be careful. Because like also I realized in that moment, like I didn't have my taser, I didn't have my pepper spray, I didn't even have my fucking rape whistle, like I had nothing. And I was like, I reached into my little like belt, and I was like, holy fuck,
I have nothing. I
know the same thing happened the last time when that happened. I realized like I had a fucking granola bar in my fucking fanny pack. I'm like, what am I gonna do? Fucking eat this and get an energy boost and sprint away? Like, I don't know. Like, it's just one of those things where it's like, be careful and be safe, and like you're not crazy, and you're not being too like you're not being too vigilant, or you're not being too safe, you know? Like, and I used to be the person who was like, oh my God, like you don't need all those self-defense tools, like it's stupid. I will never leave my house again without one. Like,
I always have my taser with me, like it's always in my bag.
I will never leave my house again without one. Like, I don't condone anybody like owning like certain types of weapons, like guns specifically. Like, I understand like having like a personal firearm or like a smaller gun. Like I just don't believe that anybody should have like a fucking assault rifle. But like I get it. I get the feeling and the want to protect yourself, because today I felt so exposed and like unprepared for the situation.
But that's when it happens.
Exactly. And so like, I don't know. That's just like, I just wanted, if there was a message in this and a takeaway, it's like, it can never be hot girl summer with fuckers like that outside. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I want to be outside and I want to be girl.
Shit, me too.
And I want to be like running and like being sexy and wild and free. And like, dude, it just sucks. Like, the world fucking sucks.
The fact that we
woman.
can't go do little things for ourselves is like, I don't know. And it really do be putting a damper on your day. So if you're a man listening to this, like, this is serious, and like it really does affect women. Like, it truly does. Like, you think your little cat call is cute and funny and you're hee hee with your boys. Like, no, it actually like ruins your day. And like your little comments of at the grocery store or me like walking by or running or whatever you're doing, like, and the little comments and the little gestures and the little things that you do that are very self-controllable that you do actually ruin people's day. And it's actually a very like
traumatizing
experience,
like, triggering thing.
Like it's not cute to do. It's not cute with your boys. It's not cute because you thought of whatever. And like the craziest part is that like you go on about your day like it never even happened, and I'm sitting here left to think like, what did I do wrong?
Like, what was I doing?
What could I have done better?
Yeah,
and
like why did this happen to me? Like what could I have done different so this doesn't happen to me again? And like for them, it was a 2-second comment, and you ruined.
And they
my
completely
day.
forget that they even made the comment. Like, and that's a very controllable thing that I've never heard a woman do or go out of her way. And I mean, I can't say never, honestly, because there are women, and I used to see it on TikTok a lot, like just as badly sexualizing men and just as crazy. But you know, it's still like, as humanity, we just need to be better to other humans, like overall.
So sorry for crying. That was really cringy, and I apologize. And I hate hearing other people cry, and it makes me really uncomfortable. So I'm so sorry that I cried.
Why?
But like, it just was like, it was too much, and like I was also like envisioning his penis, and it made me want to throw up.
Yeah, well, it should.
So, and that it made me cry. So
that should make you want to vomit, because I mean, they're not even attractive.
I would have rather watched him take a dump.
Because at least it would have been funny, kind of.
Because I would have been like, oh my god, he's literally just shitting on the side of the road. That's crazy.
Which we've witnessed.
You know, and that's like, even if that was in a sexual way, it would have been funny.
At least I could have moved on just knowing he had to take a shit.
Like, even if he was like getting off shitting, at least I wouldn't have known. Like, I could have just
wouldn't have been as obvious.
He had like diarrhea, but like, no, it was not that.
And you honestly kind of would have probably felt bad for him.
Yeah, I would have been like, damn, like, dude, that hotel sucks. They probably didn't let you go inside
that's
and like
so
take a
sad.
shit. Like, yeah, I would have felt sympathy for him.
Yeah.
But instead, I
feel hatred.
Yes.
And that's okay to say.
Visceral hatred. Like, it's blood boiling hatred.
Sorry this got like preachy, and sorry this got, you know, whatever. I feel like y'all can also relate or have a moment and have felt this at some capacity though. So
also, it might be kind of refreshing, especially after like the Barbie movie and everything, to hear like
it
didn't get cured because Barbie came out. It actually, if anything, made me more hyper aware of it.
Yeah,
which like I appreciate, but I also it did spiral me into a bit of a depression after the Barbie movie. Yeah. But you should still see it.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. It just, it does open your eyes in a way that like, even though like ours were already open to that because we've already experienced, both of us have experienced stuff like this on different levels, but like it's a very eye-opening thing to know that you're also not the only one. Yeah. And it makes you sad. Totally. But anywho, we got to move on. Thank you guys for listening to another episode of Society of 7. My name is Kelly K. You can find me at Kelly K on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube.
And I'm Emily. You can find me on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at Starnsy. Don't forget to follow the podcast on Instagram as well. We're at society97.pod on the gram. We're also on TikTok where we post clips from the show at society97pod. So follow us over there.
We also have our YouTube channel where we post blogs every single Tuesday. And on Fridays, we do the video version of the podcast. So like, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Go check us out over there.
We solved a murder mystery.
We did this past week, so you don't want to miss that. We are detectives, and we found out who did it.
So
a man, of course.
A true crime podcast.
Of course a man did it.
Yeah.
Are we shocked?
No.
Love you guys. Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.